Hi, everyone in internet land. This is David DaCosta on the Parkbench out of Carlsbad. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. George Reh. George is the owner and founder of Dutch Touch. And without further ado, welcome, George. Glad you could join us.
Thank you very much. Happy to join you.
Tell us, let's jump right in. Tell us who Dutch Touch is and who George Reh is.
Okay, so a little bit of background history. George Reh and his family came to Carlsbad, California, about 30 years ago. I am an ex-executive of the DuPont company. We arrived here and came down here because of health reasons for my daughter. So for the first couple of years, I was still with DuPont, but afterwards, I left the organization and began to do some consulting. In the meantime, my wife was complaining all the time that she was having difficulty finding really good house cleaners, maid services. So one day I just said, why don't you start your own? And she said, yeah, I am going to do that. Being a Dutch woman, she was particularly finicky about cleanliness and efficiency. So that's how Dutch Touch began its genesis. It started as a maid services house cleaning company and initially operated on the basis of employers and employees. Actually, most of our employees were students and people who were looking for extra income, and very much like, if you like, waiters and waitresses that were studying. These people will be doing house cleaning on their time to make additional income. So that model went along for a couple of years, and afterwards we began, and it was very successful. And later on, what happened was that we began to get questions from our clients saying, hey, do you know somebody who does windows? Do you know somebody who can fix things, a handyman? And we did know a lot of people because we were in the space.
I needed help with my honeydew list, right?
What's that? The
I needed
honeydew
help
list.
with my honeydew list.
Correct. So we would recommend those folks, and they were happy, and we were happy. But one day we looked at it and says, hey, why are we just recommending? Why don't we just bring those people in as potential subcontractors to us? And so let's get involved in those spaces, since there's a lot of demand for those kinds of honeydew services, basically in the residential area. So make a long story short, we did that. We, in fact, incorporated many of those people. Some of them are still with us as independent contractors. And we've changed the entire format from a employer-employee relationship to a general contractor subcontractor relationship. Over the
Excellent.
years, that has expanded dramatically, where now we are just about in every space with the exception of building new homes. We in fact launched about 4 years ago and got into the solar photovoltaic business as well. We have now installed roughly 10 or more residential solar systems. And again, our model is basically very simple. We find the very best people to do the work. We manage that work. There are subcontractors, but the relationship is between ourselves, Dutch Touch, and the client. All our services can be seen at our website called DutchTouchHandyman.com. I'll repeat that, DutchTouchHandyman.com.
Well, let me ask you, George, if I can interrupt you for 1 second. So you're really a start to finish guy. You're brokering all these services, bringing them the finished product, whether it be I need my house cleaned, I need to do an addition, I need to change a light bulb, right down to almost a custom home. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. Just to give you an example of how correct that is, I'm just finishing a $100,000 renovation just down the street where we've been on the job for over 3 months. and we've practically have replaced everything from lighting to flooring to painting, you name it.
Wow.
In due course, we have attained our own licenses. We have a C27, a C10, which is an electrician license, and whenever necessary, we use licensed contractors, including our own licenses, obviously, and when necessary, other contractors with their licenses.
So let me ask you, here's something I ask in all my Parkbench interviews. What has surprised you most when owning this business?
I guess the surprise, having come from corporate America, was really the difficulty in really qualifying reliable, good help. And that's why, for instance, we left the employer-employee relationship. We found that on Monday mornings, we were getting too many calls that said, hey, I'm not feeling well, I'm not coming today. And so on Friday, the
Surf's
same thing.
up. I got to go to catch a few waves.
Okay, that's right. So this particular methodology works well for us. We're very careful to make sure that, in fact, everybody is an independent contractor, that we don't run afoul of any rules and regulations and laws that govern that kind of relationship. So that's one of the things that surprised me early in the game. Other than that, not very much. I expect and have received pretty good accolades from most clients.
I was going to ask, I mean, don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back. What do customers say that they like most about your business?
I think two of the most valued aspects is reliability. We deliver what we say. Almost everything we deliver on budget. If I make a mistake, I usually wind up making a decision to eat the difference versus coming back to the clients and saying, holy moly.
Beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen out there, that's why Dutch Touch is so successful, because I've known George a long time. He's a man of his word. And in the construction industry, dealing with contractors, as a consumer myself, that's exactly what I'm looking for, reliability. So thank you, George. Again, before we close, I know you're short on time, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this today. Tell us one more time, how do we get a hold of you? What's the best way? And then we'll part.
Okay, I appreciate the interview. The best way to get hold of us is by telephone or text to 760-603-0567, 760-603-0567, and of course through the internet by going to DutchTouchHandyman.com. There are links where you can message us and get hold of us that way.
Perfect. Well, George, thank you again. Have a good, wonderful weekend, and all the best and continued success. And again, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure, and thank you for allowing me to give us your story.